Hi everybody, I'm about to start a new project, so I'm planning to document it on YouTube. As you can see from the piece of textile I've got on the screen at the moment, I have already sort of started. This is a piece that I made about 5 or 6 years ago when I was playing around with a lot of felting, Nuno felting, and I started making a garment from it, and I only got to make this front part of the bodice. And I pulled it out of the stash thinking, wow, it's got a lot of potential. I really want to do something with that. So consequently, working in my usual fashion, I've gone through the stash of stuff and pulled out a load of bits and pieces that have the potential, I think, to make something, to make this into a whole garment. Okay, I found this lovely piece of cotton rib knit. It's a tubular knit in this nice pretty cornflower blue, and then this sort of net blue, darker blue overlay stuff. So at the moment I'm loosely working on an idea of creating some kind of tube from this and stitching the front of this to here and making a sort of dress. We'll see how it works out. That's just my loose idea at the moment, and then other stuff, bits and pieces, lots of yarns, more yarns, a little scrap of something printed, and more yarn. So yeah, and I'm just going to have this stuff on hand and start playing around. So my first intention is to print on this lovely piece of cornflower blue. We're going to put some paint marks on here using this texture board that I've used a great deal lately. This is just really working for me. I really like this. Now I've got to work out what is the right side of this stuff. I'm going to turn it inside out. Yeah, I have done that. And here we go. We're going to print something on here. Quick smart. No faffing around. Okay, so I'm going to stick my piece of texture rubber into the tube, and then we're going to roll it over this and get some abstract markings on here. Cool. Okay, here we go. Got that set up there. Now, you may recall that it's a little tricky moving this around when I want to move on to the unprinted area, because it's going to be wet. So I'm going to make my first print on here and turn the video off while I dry it out. Right, okay, now I've got some lovely emerald green that I'm going to use straight from the dye pot. Ink pot rather, ink rather than dye. Here we go. Let's load the roller. Get a bit of ink off me. A bit of water spray. Now this paint is going to be really dark on here. Probably if this was going to be the top surface, I might have lightened the colour up a bit by adding some white. But because I'm thinking it's more than likely going to be underneath, this is going to be the layer underneath this sheer netting stuff on the top, I don't mind if this print is quite dark and dominant. So here we go. Just rolling over here. Getting that nice mark. Another warm day here in Marundi, Australia. It's a relatively pleasant 23 degrees Celsius at the moment, and it's just past midday and it's definitely heading upwards. So I'm anticipating we could be up to 28, 30 degrees Celsius this afternoon. There we go. There's my first block of marking on here, and now I'm going to run my hairdryer over here for a minute or two to dry that out. Then I'll be able to turn that over and move on to the next section for marking. But I'm going to turn it off now so you don't have to watch the tedious bits. Well, there we go. 10 minutes later, and it's been done. The tubular piece has been printed all around. I'm only going to do the bottom at the moment. I may change my mind as I go along and decide that I need to do the upper part, but at the moment I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so the next step is, of course, I was going to likely add this over the top. I think maybe, let's have a look. Yeah, I quite like how that gives it more subtlety, and obviously I want to do some stuff over this that's going to mean we have a moving layer over that bottom layer. So how's it going to tie in to the bodice part? I'm pretty pleased with that. The colours look good. The geometric kind of style of the print, I think, is going to work quite well with this, which has got quite a lot of lines in it. So I'm going to move along now and start making this into some sort of a underdress that the bodice can be attached to. Hi there, back again. Now I've made considerable progress since you last saw me speculating that I was going to stitch some stuff on this sheer net here, and I've probably taken me 2 to 3 hours to sew all this random knit on here. It's just this strip of stretch knit, and I've placed it on here, stitched it through the centre. I'm not really sure whether this blue's working for me, so I may, at some time, I did a little sample piece, I may get a whole lot of textile ink and mix it up and dunk the whole thing in and try to dye that light blue a darker colour. I feel it's a little too stark, not really sure. Okay, so at the moment I have stuck up the tube of knit that I printed right at the beginning inside of this skirt, and I've just pinned it in at the top to make sure that they were going to fit together nicely. Now immediately the problem with this skirt is it's going to be way too narrow to walk in down here on the bottom. Like, we would definitely be walking like geishas. Okay, walk like a geisha. Remember that from sometime in the 1990s, I think. So what I'm going to do is turn these right side out, and I'm going to make a big vent. So and stitch that, and then I can turn it back out again. So that, yeah, and we'll see from there whether I'm going to stitch a gusset into it or not. That's at the moment. So I'm just taking this out so you can see the sheer piece. Okay, there it is. I just stitched all this on at random, twisting, turning. I didn't put any marks on the textile. Now the top part, I need to, initially I thought I would kind of have this hanging over the top of this in a sort of apron-like way. Now I'm thinking I'm going to make a back, I think, back this piece. So I've cut a piece of the sheer net out. This is going to be the back. Here we go. And I'm going to take this to the machine right now, and with this fragment of a knitted piece from some other distant in the past project, I'm going to start stitching this onto that and add other pieces like thus in various places to form a bit of a kind of patched work together textile similar to this piece. And I'm going to turn the video off now and start working on this, and I'll see if I have enough time left this afternoon to come back to show you progress, because I'm anticipating this is going to take another 2 or 3 hours to form up this piece of textile for the back, and it's already 4:30 here in Australia. So see you later. Hello, back with my last recap on this video, and I spent an hour and a half, and this is where I'm at now. That's the back with the backing of the net, the stretch net. This is obviously the outside, and I'm about to head home, so I'll discuss with you tomorrow how this has been created and the techniques that I've used here. But I'm really happy with how this piece is turning out.